and welcome back to another episode of the Real Conversations podcast. I'm your host, Jacob O'Connor. Real Conversations is a podcast for those dedicated to doing hard things and building a meaningful life. We believe greatness isn't given, it's built, brick by brick, day by day. Here, we share the lessons and stories meant to help you on your journey to living your best life. For the fourth time in 4 years, I'm joined by Logan Mize. It's the fourth time, dude.
Oh, wow. Cool.
Country music artist, Logan Mize. How you doing, man?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well. You're battling that sun there.
A little bit. I'm trying to just squeak over to the side. I might have to scoot a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, I didn't realize this is the fourth time. Good to be back.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
So I introduce you every episode, but I've been kind of doing it reverse lately. Give the people like a 60-second rundown. Who are you? What are some of your accomplishments? Kind of just who you are, man.
I'm not good at talking about there's not a large list of accomplishments, but man, I moved to Nashville when I was 21. I grew up in small town, Kansas, Clearwater.
Mm-hmm.
And tried college, 3 of them, 3 different ones, dropped at all 3.
Impressive.
Yeah, very impressive stats so far. Then made it to Nashville at 21 and just wanted to write songs. That's all I cared about. I got a publishing deal in Nashville within my first 18 months probably. So I was a truck driver when I first moved there. That was the one good thing I did in college. I got a CDL license so I could drive a truck. I was a truck driver turned songwriter, and I started that full time in 2008. Followed by a brief intermission in 2009 where I was back to blue collar jobs, and then been full time writing songs, putting out records since end of 2009, early 2010.
You're missing a couple numbers. Over 1 billion streams, and then you've had some real hits.
Well, they're very, I don't want to use the word underground because with, when you're in the hundreds of millions or billion, whatever it is, it's hard to say underground, but it really is off the beaten path. I've just created my own little world, which is good sometimes, bad sometimes. But it's been a very much a very fringe thing to the main culture of country music.
Well, dude, you've got great music. I've always enjoyed like getting to tell and retell your story, but you were just talking about something before we were rolling it. We were like, we should definitely just turn the camera and get going with it. We were talking about distraction. You had mentioned at one point you're going to start a podcast, and we were talking about my podcast setup and all of that. And you're like, but it's just one more thing that takes me away from my core thing, which is creating. Mm-hmm. I'd love for you to pick back up on that.
Well, I kind of came to terms maybe more recently in life that I probably have some serious ADHD issues. My wife has definitely urged me into accepting that.
Yeah.
To me, I feel normal. But I noticed that my behavior patterns are if I read the list of things, it's like, oh, I have every single one of those. So if I have too many distractions, I can't focus on the main thing where I feel like I excel at, which is the writing and recording process. And that's the part I love. That's the part I'm really passionate about. And so we talked about, I talked about starting a podcast, just to, another way in the modern culture of everything is content driven, to have more content, to bring other writers in and showcase them. I also have my own merchandise company and a tour full time. So between the touring, the merchandise company, the writing, and the recording part, I just felt like it was another squirrel for me to chase. Starting a podcast. So even for me to sit down and write a song, it's like I have to sweep the floor. I find, I need to throw that away. I need to send this email. I've got to pay this invoice. For me, if the more distractions I have, the less time I have to focus on the one thing I feel like I have the most confidence at. Mm-hmm. So I just have tried to cut down on the things I do that take away from that.
Yeah. Well, focus is so important. Like when you're trying to do something at a high level, anything that is not that main thing takes away from what you could be doing. Mm-hmm. Like you look at the compounding of doing one thing consistently over a long time horizon. You don't want to pull anything away from that focus of it.
No, not at all. And also I feel like I'm continuing to get better at it, as crazy as that sounds. I mean, I'm 19 years into really putting the work in, and now I'm like to a spot where I go, okay, I think I know what I'm doing now.
Yeah.
And then the next day it's like I figure some other trick out. I'm like, I'm getting better, so I don't ever want to lose that.
I feel like there's been this is just my observation, feel free to correct me. I feel like there's been a recent pivot in either maybe a mentality or the way you operate, or I just listened to the last song that you put out. I'm blanking on the name, but you talked about just doing what makes you happy rather than like, swimming in the same direction as all the other fish going upstream. Like you're swimming contrary to that. I'm curious, like, is this accurate? Like, is what I'm noticing, have you felt that yourself, or where has your head been lately?
Yeah, well, I just turned 40. And so early on, in your 20s, and when you get to town, it's just a rat race, and you're like, you're scrapping and clawing for, crumbs and trying to get ahead, and it feels like a competition. We talked about that in the sauna a little bit. And then I kind of figured, once I found my own lane, you can block out the noise and go, this is what I do. And it's a blend of things. I like to sometimes turn left, and sometimes, I'm interested in a lot of different types of music. And so the music, how the music sounds can be different from album to album, and the content is usually similar. But yeah, that song was one I was actually scared to put out because I was like, does this sound too like, I don't know. I don't know what we can say on here. I was like, does this song make me sound like a pussy?
You can say whatever you want.
I told you, I was like, I think I sound like just a giant pussy on this song. She's like, no, this is cool. I think people resonate with it. And they have.
Yeah.
But that's how I feel, you can work yourself into the ground and give yourself stress you don't have to carry. I mean, yeah, there's always going to be bills. There's going to be a mortgage payment, and I can stress about it. But at the end of the day, like, if I'm stressing myself to the max so that I can have the next thing, it's a dead end road for me. And I want to be present for my kids. I want them to have a dad that's, showing up at home and wants to play in the yard and wants to, coach teams and stuff like that. So yeah, definitely my mind has shifted a lot in the past 15 years for sure.
Yeah, performance for performance sake is a difficult thing to sustain over the long run.
Mm-hmm.
Like, these are the words and these are the topics and these are the beats that are performing the best right now. So make sure you incorporate these into your performance. Yeah. That's not true and genuine to yourself.
Mm-mm.
Like when I listen to that song, you'll have to remind me of what the name of it was so people can go listen to it. But when I listened to it, like what I heard was exactly what you're just saying. Like you are a dad. You did just turn 40. You have all these different things going on. And I'm going to enjoy them. I'm going to find a little bit of meaning in all of the mundanity and the day-to-day of life. And I thought that was super cool and refreshing.
Yeah, thanks. It's called When I Grow Up.
Okay.
When I grow up, I'm going to be happy is kind of the hook. I actually started it when I was 25. It was on my 25th birthday.
Wow.
And I had the chorus, but I felt like the rest of the song was just, I didn't have the writing experience to really finish it the way it needed to be finished. And when I turned 40, I put the clip of the chorus up on Instagram, and people really resonated with it. And I was like, man, this was I just put this up for fun. Maybe I should look back at this song. And then I went and rewrote all the verses just because I didn't feel like it was fully written.
Right.
And once I finished it, it took on a whole new meaning, and I was like, God, I got to put this out. And I didn't use, Nashville studio or anything. I just recorded it at my little studio in Annandale. And
I love that.
It meant a lot to me, and I'm glad people are, using it for I see the highlight reels of their family and people with their dogs and their kids and stuff and using that song. It's really cool.
Not that I know anything about music, but I think you should do more of that. Like you can feel that energy coming through it. I didn't even know you recorded that in Annandale. I thought, you did your typical route, but it's good, man. It's a good thing.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Talk to me about energy. We kind of had a cool conversation about this earlier that I paused because I wanted to have it on the podcast with you. Hey guys, Jacob here. I've spent the last 6 years building this podcast, trying to provide as much value to you all as I can. I've invested a significant amount of time, money, and effort into the show over the last 6 years. As you may have noticed, I don't run any advertisements in the podcast. In fact, all that I ask is that you share the link with a friend. Sending it to one person over text or sharing it on social media, it makes a huge difference for me on the back end. I would greatly appreciate it if you could support this work that I do. Thank you. Now let's get back into the episode.
Oh, yeah. Well, we were talking about, how did we get on the subject?
The book you read.
Oh, the book. Okay. Well, we were talking about AI music.
Yep.
How a lot of people are very upset that there's an AI artist topping the Billboard charts right now. And I just have kind of taken on this new mentality, a little bit of like, do not give your energy away to, in the book I'm reading, it's pendulums, right? Like there's pendulums and they basically steal your life force from you,
Mhm.
you know? So if I sat around upset while this AI artist is taking, plays or chart position away from me, I'm just giving that my energy. There's no reason for me to get upset about it. It is what it is. And I still have my, you know, my lane and I can stay in it and keep doing what I'm doing and not letting it take away. But yeah, there's a really good book called Reality Transurfing, and I'm missing the name of the author right now. But it's really long. There's also a Cliff Notes version. It's called Reality Transurfing in 78 Days, and that's the one I read. And I did that full audio book. But it's a lot of information, but it really makes sense. You don't want to give unnecessary energy away to things that really don't or shouldn't affect you.
Yeah. I mean, everyone talks about money. Like that's the ultimate form of currency.
Mm-hmm.
And they talk about time, the passing of time. But a big piece of it is energy. Like all of those things go hand in hand in hand. And you can't only look at time and money and say, well, I've wasted these two things. What about how you feel while you're doing it? That is the energy.
Absolutely, man.
If you've got 100 units of energy per day to put into something creative, something meaningful, something that can impact and help other people, why would you waste 50 units of energy on something that doesn't matter? Why would you let that get to you? And I know that's easier said than done, but that framework, I find it really interesting to think about it like that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll notice it like, and this is where the phone, like I really try to avoid it as much as I can because I'll get sucked into Twitter news.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, wait, they're doing what? Next thing you know, it's like, well, this 3I Atlas comet's going to split apart and kill us. And, you know, there's the coronal mass ejections are going to knock the power grid out. Next thing you know, I'm sitting there thinking about that. And I'm like, does this song even matter that I'm writing?
Right.
You know, it's like, I just gave way too much energy to that. Put it away. It's probably bullshit anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, why give your energy away to stuff like that?
There's this idea, it's in the Bible, it's in a lot of books, it's the idea of tending to your own garden.
Mm-hmm.
And it's something that I thought was cheesy at first, but now like in the midst of chaos with the restaurant and I just wrapped up the ultra marathon and everything else I had going on, it was a really kind of difficult and busy season for myself. I'm coming out the tail end, thankfully.
Mm-hmm.
But I really started thinking about this concept and it's like, I need to protect my energy.
Yeah.
Like, you know, there's only so many things you can control in something like a restaurant or whatever it is that you find your career. But in those moments at the end of the day, at the beginning of the day, when the time is yours, that is your garden. And you can build that garden in your head too. Like even amidst chaos, you can try and find that peace. And so for me, it's like headlines are meant to grab your attention. News is meant to divide you. There's so much negativity. There's so many, attention is currency. People are pulling for it. They're trying to take it from you. So I've really tried to think deeply about like, what does it mean to tend to my garden and to protect that space?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, man. Even with the country music headlines, which I kind of follow Americana country music mostly. And every single headline is about, you'll never believe what this artist said or did or whatever. And it's like, oh, I know that guy. He seems pretty cool. What the heck did he do? And you get into the article and it's nothing, but the headline was like,
he's got the picture
you're
of him
never
too.
Gonna believe this.
It's like, oh, who's he texting? He's got the phone out.
Right. Yeah. Stuff like that is just block it out.
What have you learned about like having to create that space during tour? And like, I think about you having this career for 19 years. There's definitely been times, I'm sure, where you've not felt like going on stage. There's times where you've not been in the right headspace to create and to make music and to do these things that you have an obligation to do. What have you learned about having to do it when you don't feel like it?
Man, good question. Early on when I first started traveling in a bus, and I don't always travel in a bus, I do most of the time when I have a band out. It was like, oh, now I'm going to have all this time. So I'm going to bring writers out. And during the day, I'm going to write. So I'll be productive then. And then I'll go play the show. And then I'll come back to the bus and we'll write that night. And it was like trying to slam the day with productivity. And I figured out like there's people that were waiting all day. They saved up. They bought the ticket. They're going to come watch you play. You got to give them everything. So I kind of just started figuring out, if I'm performing, I'm performing. What do I have to do during that day leading up to the performance that's going to put me in the best headspace to give them the best show I can? If I'm showing up, hungover or stressed out about other things, it's not going to be a good show. So if I'm outperforming, I'm outperforming. Even if that means I got to run 5 miles and do a cold plunge and do a sauna and, meditate, whatever it is, drink 4 beers, whatever, it's got to go towards the show. And if I'm at home and I'm not performing, then everything goes into the writing and recording part.
Do you have a set routine that gets you into the right frame of mind to go perform?
Yeah. Mine has always been exercise oriented.
Okay.
So even in the early days, just being a college athlete, getting done with that, I always just had that. I don't know if it's dopamine. I don't know the proper chemicals, but you get done with a hard workout and you just feel like, okay, now I can think clearly, I'm relaxed, I'm happy. And if I didn't do that, I would notice that my mind would just be like a pinball machine, And so I've always had, a really good exercise routine day of show. And that really helps. I like to wind down after that, maybe go to a restaurant, get a cocktail or something and hang with the band, laugh, tell stupid stories. And then I'm like, okay, I'm prepped. I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
So
the exercise routine, is it running, lifting, just varies?
Well, we don't have weights out, and I don't really lift weights anyway. I use dumbbells to do burpees, but that's
brutal.
Yeah, it's you'll have to do my routine. It's kind of fun. It's 40. I use 40s, but you go down, you do the push-up jack at the bottom, and then overhead press at the top, and you just do,
Dude, that's like a CrossFit HIIT workout right there. That's high intensity.
It is. It gets your heart rate up quick, and you can be done in 20 minutes. So, I'll do that, or I'll go try to go run 5 miles. Find a tree limb to do pull-ups on, whatever.
There you go.
But just anything to get the blood flowing and get a really good sweat in. And then I feel like, okay, I can have a day now.
Yeah. I think that's a healthy way to do it. You're talking about like almost a primer, what sets you up for the thing that you're supposed to do at a high level. For me, it's like, I noticed the same thing. I'd get really jittery before podcasts. I'd be nervous about it. I was like, what can I do to get myself in the right mind frame? Whenever I have the opportunity, I love to either get a workout or ice bath and sauna with a guest prior to a podcast. And you and I did that today.
Yeah.
And that was awesome, man. Like, I'm so relaxed now. We got to spend an hour just catching up. And like, that is one of my favorite ways to connect or reconnect with the guests leading into a conversation.
Yeah. I mean, there's no doubt I walked out of that place today. It just like felt great. You know?
Dude, it's so cool. And you've never been there before, so I love being able to like give an experience like that. Going from ice bath to sauna and back and forth. I don't know, man. Like I said, it could be placebo, but I'm just my mind is so much clearer when I walk out of there. Like just the little things. You walk out, you see the sun, and you're like, wow, today's a beautiful day.
Yeah.
Like it's a great day to go do a podcast.
I can wake up and be in a bad mood or not feel 100%. And it's just, I don't want to run.
Yeah.
I don't want to do anything. I want to stew in my own bad vibe, But if you force yourself to do it and you get out there the first 50 meters, you're like, I hate everything. You get back after 5-6 miles, you're trotting in your driveway, listening to the birds sing, and it's a beautiful day.
Is that the funny thing about physiology is it can change the way that you actually think about things? Because it's 100% true that if you're in a bad attitude, in a bad mood, if you move your body enough, your mood will change.
Absolutely.
Like try and go out on a run and come back in a bad mood. It's really hard.
It's tough. Yeah. And I work out, the demons on the run, it's like I'm going through conversations where maybe I said the wrong thing or did the wrong thing. And you have time to think about it and you're going, okay, well, maybe it wasn't that bad. And maybe they didn't mean it this way. And by the time you're done, it's like you can solve all those problems.
Right. Yeah. Why do you think running helps you to think clearer? You mentioned the ADHD component. I'm curious if there's like something there with that.
I have no idea. It's just, I always figured it out. And I never did long distance at all.
Yeah.
I played college football, so it was very sprint, anaerobic type stuff and weights. And it wasn't until I got done with that where I was like, well, I don't have access to a weight room. I was living basically on, granola bars in a 1-bedroom apartment that I got evicted from. I didn't have anything. I didn't have, money. So I had a park and I would just go run at this park. And I noticed that like every stress and every problem I had, this is right outside of Nashville when I moved there, it would just kind of dissipate and everything seemed to work itself out.
Yeah.
If I was in that headspace. Now, if I got into a headspace where I was, slamming a 12-pack of Natty Light and, coming home from work and doing that, I went through those cycles too. I would notice that things would just continue to get worse. It's like, I like my reward of my nice beer, but like if I don't put in the work to get in the right headspace, it doesn't help, So,
do you think you have an addictive personality when it comes to like performance and like that type of thing?
I don't know. I definitely am addicted to nicotine
Mm.
because right now I got Zens going. But I remember my dad had, a skull in his truck.
Mhm.
And, so from an early age, I always saw him doing it. And then of course I wanted to try it. So then I started that when I was like 14 years old.
Yeah.
So I could name, I don't even know, maybe 9 or 10 days in my life I haven't had it.
Yeah.
So maybe I'm addicted to it, or maybe it's just it's part of my
Yeah.
routine.
I-
But other things I can put down and
Yeah. I'm curious, like not in the actual addiction itself, but rather in the idea of like people that hyperfixate on something that
Mhm.
perform at a high level, they can often have an addictive personality, and
Mhm.
that can often manifest in the form of a vice. Like
Mhm.
you have a way that you need to calm yourself down, and that can be a
Oh, yeah.
positive thing or a negative thing.
Mhm.
And you've mentioned working out a couple of times, and that's like the best case scenario for someone who tries to
Yeah.
do and accomplish something, to find that release in a healthy manner.
Mhm.
And then you mentioned, the alcohol. It's obviously something that's really prevalent in the music industry and definitely in Nashville. So I was curious, like, you know, so I bet there's a lot of artists that use alcohol as a coping mechanism,
Oh,
but
yeah.
you've turned to exercise. And I'm just curious, like, how that happened.
I think just from having it instilled in my brain from an early age playing sports, like, just I don't know I know what it feels like to go a couple days. Like if I hit a Saturday and Sunday, take off and
Mhm.
don't, Monday morning is just, I'm like, I can't, I'm itching to get out and
Right.
do something.
Right.
And then I'm back in a positive space all through the week. I don't like how I feel if I'm not doing it mentally. It
Mhm.
has nothing to do really physically because I mean, as you can see, I'm not like a specimen of men's health. It's just um
Logan, you're in pretty good shape, man.
decent, but not as good a shape as I could be. It's just for me, it's very mental.
Right.
It's very like everything becomes easier. Everything seems to turn in my direction if I'm doing that.
Yeah. You ran 5 miles today, didn't you?
Yeah, but not 100 like you crazy.
That part doesn't matter. I told you at the beginning of this that by the end of the episode, I'm going to have you signed up for an ultra marathon.
You did. I want to do it.
I was going to say, because you talked about this in the last episode a year ago. I don't know if you remember
Mhm.
this, but you said, I just hurt my leg, but I'd love to do an ultra marathon at some point
Mhm.
down the road. I think that someone like you who gets the benefit of running and like you clearly helps you process things, think through it. I think if you lengthened your runs to something further, I'd be curious what that does to your music, having
Me
that
too.
much time to think and analyze and
Yeah.
really process things.
I'm sure it'd be good. I also have days where I'm running and I get a song idea or I think of something like a guitar riff or something. And then I'm like, oh no, because I don't take my phone running with me.
Oh, really?
I'm just raw dogging it.
Oh, dude, you're a different beast then.
Yeah. Well, I like the just country air and a dirt road and the sound of my feet hitting the gravel and that's it.
Yeah.
So if I get something in my head, I'm like, oh no, I got to turn around and haul ass back home because
Yeah.
I'm going to forget this. Now if that's not happening, I'm fine. So yeah, I'd be worried. Maybe I need to bring my phone with me and hum into the phone while I'm running or something.
What if you just got like a little $10 tape recorder? Nothing
could
that
work
you can
too.
be distracted by, but it's
Right.
something you can record with.
That's a very good idea. Old school.
Yeah, old school, man. I don't know, that'd be kind of interesting. Honestly, it'd be fun to like watch your progression. If you could get someone to go out there and record you for a part of that and just start posting these clips online, but it's like the country music artist who goes on run and writes songs while he does it.
That would be like killing two birds with one stone right there.
You got the
Yeah.
content piece as well.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, there's days where I'm like, I need to write, but I can't do it. I got to do this first,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. You also mentioned, we were talking about this earlier. I didn't realize this. You ice bath and sauna already. Like
Yeah.
I thought this was going to be kind of a new experience for you. I was surprised to hear that when did you start doing this?
Well, I didn't, the sauna thing I've always loved.
Yeah.
And I discovered the infrared sauna maybe like 4 years ago. Before that, I was like, I just try to find a dry sauna if I could and just crank it.
Mhm.
But I felt, like I work out in an infrared sauna. So I'll get on the assault bike and just sweat as much as I can.
That's
I
crazy.
love doing that. I only do it like a couple times a week because I sweat too much. I'll get too dehydrated. But, and then a friend of mine, introduced me to the ice bath thing. And I was like, this seems wild. And then I kind of looked into the science behind it and I was like, I'll start it. So I started with a horse trough behind our house, and it was the middle of winter. So it'd freeze over and I'd have to go hammer the ice off of it. And
that's old school.
I was like, this seems really stupid, but I'm going to, I'll try it. And I did start noticing, like, I do feel like very amped up afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
And then so I made investment. I bought mine's an inflatable one. And then I bought the chiller that goes with it. So it chills the water and circulates it for you. But you got to change the water every 2 weeks, which is kind of a pain in the butt.
2 weeks isn't bad though.
Not terrible.
Yeah. How many gallons does it hold? Probably 50?
I don't know. It's 6 foot long. It maybe is 6 foot or 6'5", and then it's like maybe 2 or 3 feet wide. And it comes up to right about
it's probably 100 gallons then.
It might be. I mean, yeah, you can get deep in it.
Yeah, that's legit. That's cool, dude.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so you're already ice bath sauning. You enjoy running. Like, to me, it sounds like you've got the full set for this ultra marathon together. You just need to dedicate the time to it.
It's the time. Well, kids jump from sport to sport. So we finished football on a Saturday last week or the week before. I can't remember, which I coach, and that takes, quite a bit of time. And then we had Sunday off, and then my son started basketball on Monday. Mm-hmm. So, we jumped. And my daughter's in basketball too. So between that and school and homework and all that, it'd have to be in the early morning hours to train, which is fine. It'd get me out of bed. But.
What is it like having a family while also being a country music artist? Like, I believe you're going to Germany next week.
Yeah. Yeah, we leave on Thursday, I think.
What does that look like? Like, how do you, I don't believe in this idea of balance, but like, what does that look like for you?
I don't know any different because, a lot of guys started out touring before they met somebody and got married and had kids and they were already kind of set in their ways of touring and all that. Dude, I did shows. I had a Suburban and we'd go play, but we didn't tour. Mm. I really didn't start touring until 2009. And at that point I had already met my wife and we were living together and got married and I started a family right away. So when I really got busy, like 2010, 2011, and I was in a van. So I was driving out to the shows, driving to all the shows, usually a 3 or 4 day run, and then driving home on Sunday, get home Sunday night, your dad till Wednesday night, and then leave. That just, I don't know any different. So we kind of just had our routine forever,
Wow. Yeah, that's wild. Like, you're coaching a football game one day and the next day you're playing in front of hundreds or thousands of people.
Yeah, I like that. It's fun,
What is it like hitting this? I don't know if you've been reflective in hitting the 40-year mark, but how has goal setting changed for you? Like, is that something that you're still consciously actively doing, or how has it changed?
Yeah, we definitely still have goals that I've had forever, and then a lot of them have changed. The goalpost just moved in a different direction. But they're very family oriented. Like, one of my goals this year, which I'm running out of time, was my daughter really wants a treehouse, and I'm like, I got it. I'm like halfway through getting the support beams put in. Yeah. And I'm like, I got to get out there and finish that treehouse.
It's about to get cold, man.
I know. And so it's things like that appear on the goal sheet, or take my son to a college football game or things like that. Or before it was like, get X amount of streams, sell them this amount of tickets. Those things are still on there, but, building the treehouse. Yeah, we got a fire truck. Building the treehouse definitely sits before those things. So I see that.
It's a priority shift.
Yeah, it's definitely priority shift. Yeah.
Do you still set goals when it comes to music, or is that just something you're doing regularly?
Like, I do set goals, but I try to, that's the hard part, is like, I don't want my goals to interfere with the creative process, because, you can chase trends in music. You can go, well, this is working, I should try this because they're making this. Well, then that's when music starts to sound a lot the same. Mm-hmm. I really want to stay 100% myself musically, because I feel like that's what connects with, even if it's not the broad audience, you're really connecting with people that care. Mm-hmm. So, I want to remain 100% authentic in that. So if I start saying, well, I need to be at this position on this chart, I don't put any of that on there.
Yeah.
I just my goal is I want to create the best possible version of this version of myself right now musically. And if it leads us to selling out a Red Rocks or a, Midland Theater in Kansas City, whatever, that's great, and I'll take it. But like, if I put that before creating the best possible thing I can, I'm gonna go down rabbit holes I don't need to go down.
What does it look like to be the best possible version of yourself? Like, describe that.
Well, you know, in writing, you know, you really have to. For me, I like a big piece of me to be in it. Even if there's a lot of fiction in the song, it has to be the story told the way I would tell it, you know? And I just know in my gut when it's not right. And I don't know how to describe that.
You can feel it.
I could feel it. And so if I'm singing a lyric, even if I like to cut outside songs as well sometimes, I know immediately, I'm like, I wouldn't do that, you know? This guy wouldn't do that. So it's like figuring out a way to communicate in an authentic way. And I don't know how to put that into words. It's something you can feel.
It's in your gut.
Yeah.
Have you always operated off gut feelings? Has that always been something like strong for you?
Yeah, I've always operated on gut feelings, and it hasn't always success-wise matched up. Like it doesn't look good on paper a lot of the times, but I've never really made a decision where I've gone, that was definitely the wrong thing.
Right. You mentioned in the last podcast that like you were going through difficult times early in your career, trying to get to these certain goalposts. And you said the thing that kept you going is for some reason you've always had a faith and belief in yourself. Where do you think that comes from?
I have no idea. I'm for the most part, and there's been like difficult years, difficult cycles, you know, for sure, where I doubt myself, you know, but that's really rare. And it's not like I have a conceited point of view at all. I don't think of myself as better than anybody, or oh, they're getting this, I should be getting that. You know, I don't think that way. I just have a faith in myself, as far as like I know that when I hear a finished product, you know, I hear a song back, I can tell right away. I'm like, okay, regardless of what happens, 100% of me is in that,
right?
And it's good. I can stand behind it, and I really hope it gets the life that I feel like it deserves. If it doesn't, well, you know, you're leaving it up to fate at that point. But
are you a harsh critic of yourself?
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, if I hear there's songs from way back, if I hear myself, I'll cringe a little bit.
Yeah,
but it's not because I did something wrong then. It's just I didn't know. I hadn't developed a certain thing yet.
Is that something that you wrestle with in the moment? Like when you're in the creative process trying to create something and you're just getting words out on paper and just trying to record and you're like, this isn't it. Like, what is wrong with me? Why is this is not where I want to be. And I know it.
I don't do that. I don't get critical of myself at that point. I just write through that. And then I'll start kind of like trying to sing over it and see what else kind of pokes out. And I know I can find it eventually. Or there's songs that I've been working on for 2-3 years. I'm like, I know I don't have it yet. I'll just put it away. I'll come back to it another date.
How many songs do you have like that, do you think?
Oh gosh, I got hard drives full.
Seriously?
Oh yeah. That's like, here's a verse. Don't know what the chorus does yet. And I'll pull them up. There's days I'll go and just go through the hard drive and pull them up and see if anything hits me. And if it does, I'll work on it for a while. And then once it goes away, I'll put it back in the hard drive.
Dude, that's so cool. Like this idea of inspiration, ideation, creation, it's like, where does that come from?
I don't know, man.
Like you're sitting here and you're trying to make something, but then you have this gut feeling, like you can feel when it's right. And you're like, people are going to resonate with this. And you put it out there and everyone's like moved by it emotionally. Like music has this capacity to make people feel something.
Yeah.
Like how remarkable is that?
It's cool, man. I love that part of it. It's just so fun when you get messages from somebody and you know, it could be anything from my kid was in the hospital or I had a really bad day at work or whatever, and I put your song on in it and it just really helped me. And I don't think about that when I'm recording it. I'm just trying to, you know, trying to do what I can do that day. But that's the coolest part. Or when you come to a show, or people come to a show and you go play and you don't know what went on during their day, but you can see everybody singing along or smiling or cheersing or hugging their buddy. And it's like, man, it's priceless.
Yeah. You know, restaurants are far and away not the same thing as music, but the only comparison that I'll draw, the only tangential line that I'll draw is I do my best to provide an experience here. I love walking around seeing people enjoying this. Like
Mm-hmm.
our role here is not to be the center focus, but rather to create the environment in which people can enjoy
I love
themselves
that.
and who they're with. And I feel like that's so similar to what you're saying.
Absolutely. See, something like this would be fun for me too. I think I genuinely want to see people happy.
Yes.
I think the world that I strive to live in is a world where everybody's just having the greatest time. You know, it's because there's so many things to get upset about, and there's plenty of hard times you're going to go through. But man, if you can create something that takes all that out of someone's mind for a moment, it's like totally worth it.
Well, also the companionship for the hard times. You've got a few songs that are sad.
Mm-hmm.
They're hard to listen to, but you listen to it and you feel that emotion. It's like you might be going through a breakup, you might be going through a death, you might be going through something difficult, and the songs that you've created give people the feeling that they're not alone.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can hear it come through your voice, another artist's voice, and that's something that is pretty cool to experience. Like I mentioned this, I think, a couple episodes ago. Whenever I recorded with you, like a couple years ago, the first song of yours that I heard, I think, was "Grew Apart."
Yeah.
And I was on the roof with John, who you've met a couple of times,
Yeah.
putting up Christmas lights at our buddy's house like 3 years ago. And John and I have known each other for like 7 years. And we're putting up Christmas lights. And I don't know if it was Spotify Shuffle or if John had heard and he was playing or what the deal was. That song came on. And like we were having a fine day. There's nothing wrong. That song came on and he and I just like stopped putting the lights up. We just laid on the roof and just looked up at the sky and just listened.
Oh, that's cool.
Like how powerful is it that music can do that to you?
That's crazy. And it still does it to me. My taste is so odd and all over the place, but I'm constantly searching for that feeling when I listen to music, There's an artist I love. His name's Petey. And it's kind of rock / synth, whatever. And he does that to me a lot. Just you can tell it's every time one of his songs comes on, it kind of stops me and I go, yes, I wanted to feel this right now.
Yeah.
I didn't know I wanted to, but now I do.
Yeah.
You know?
It's so cool. Who do you like to listen to? You just named one of them, but I'm curious.
Yeah. Man, if it's hard. I don't have like artists I can throw out there. I mean, if I'm throwing out all time favorite artists, they're like, I loved like the Heartland rock era of, John Mellencamp and Tom Petty. And some of that late 80s, early 90s country stuff. But anymore, like, there's some cool Americana stuff I really love. I love, I've always loved Ryan Adams and the Cardinals. Any iteration of him, I feel like it's just always really cool. Petey, I love Petey USA, I guess is what his official name is really cool. I'm trying to think of something else I've heard lately that just blew me away. It's always some like obscure thing I'll find, and I found some guy the other night, and he had like 3,000 followers on his page, and I listened to it, and I was like, "This is amazing. Has to blow up." I
Right?
think
It's a diamond in the rough.
Yeah, and I just sat there and listened to every track, and I just kind of fell asleep to it, and it was great. But I never know when it's going to hit.
Yeah, there's a band. They're called the Adler Brothers, and one of the guys is out of Wichita. They've got like 700 followers, but they just put out a new album. I went to listen to it last night. And I was like, "This is great."
Mm-hmm.
Like, who cares how many people are listening to it?
Yeah.
This music they're making it makes you feel something, and it's interesting, like the social component to it. Like you judge the credibility and the validation of how good something is based off of how many people are also listening to that thing.
Yeah,
but you could also just be early in the adoption curve. All you have to do is resonate with one person.
Yeah.
Why does it matter if there's millions and millions of people that have already found this thing?
Absolutely. Ebbs and flows too. I mean, it goes in, I've noticed it just because I've been in it long enough. It'll surge and then it'll drop and then it'll surge and it'll drop. And you can't pay attention to those metrics because, I mean, if your identity is attached to the metrics, man, you can be in a bad place real quick. At one point, we had, I think, 2.1 million monthly followers on Spotify, and I was really excited about it. And I stopped myself. I was like, wait, this could drop. And it did for sure. And it'll go back up and it'll drop again. But the second you give meaning to that, man, you've given your energy to a pendulum that is completely out of your control. So it's just like, doesn't matter.
Was that a conscious process of removing your identity from the metrics?
Yeah, because you can see so many other, not that I'm trying to, it's no one's fault. I've been guilty of it too, but when people get their identity wrapped up in the success of a product they've made, it leads to, it can lead to ego issues.
Mhm.
And I never wanted that to be a thing. I don't care, if we're selling out, Madison Square Garden, or if I'm playing the, Cheney bowling lanes out
Yeah.
there, it's like, it's got to mean something to me. It, you know, you get wrapped up in that, man, you're sunk.
Yeah. I think it was Aristotle. He used to pay someone to walk behind him and whisper in his ear, "You're only a man.
Yeah.
You're only a man."
Right. That's great.
Because you got everyone that's singing your praise,
Mhm.
and that's something that I've tried to even embody because, I'm young, and a common thing with being young is ego and pride,
Mhm.
and that is the downfall of many people. You start to think you got the Midas touch, you've got life figured out,
Mhm.
and I've been fortunate to talk to so many successful people that are far older than me to know that I'm not.
Mhm.
That hard times are ahead. And so whenever it's like I've got a high moment, I'm trying to whisper in the back of my ear, "You're only a man.
You're only a man.
You're only a man."
Yeah, one early thing I noticed, once again, I don't wanna throw anyone under the bus, but in Nashville, I had my first record deal. I think I got my first record deal at 30, and a major label deal, and everyone wants to be your friend, Every big songwriter's sending you songs, everyone wants to go get a beer, everyone wants to friend you on social media, and, I lost that first record deal, and it was, like, unfriended.
Transactional.
It was completely transactional, and I was like, "Whoa, I'm still the same guy. I just don't have a piece of paper that says I'm signed to Sony
Right.
Records." And so my second time around with Atlantic, it was like, "Okay, I know how this is gonna go," and everyone was my best friend when the song was cranking, and then it never quite got over the hump into the top 20, and it was the same thing all over again, but that time I was smart enough to know, this doesn't matter, keep the right people in your corner.
With that Sony deal, is that when you first started to consciously practice detaching your identity from the metric?
No, at that point, I hadn't figured that out yet.
Okay.
It really wasn't until I kind of like came off of that and realized how everybody who was kind of like swarming around
Mhm.
when, you get your song added at radio and you're on radio tour and everything, there's a swarm that you kind of notice and then they go away. And it was at that point I was like, okay, I see how this works now.
Yeah. Well, you've had so many different cool opportunities to sing in front of thousands of people, but even at the backyard bash where there's 150 people, everyone wants a piece of you and they want a picture, they want a signed autograph, they want to talk to you, they want this and that. Like, what has that experience been like for you? Because, they're a supporter on one hand, but on the other hand, going back to that transactional piece, it's like, do they really care about you for who you are? I'm sure you've got, guardrails for that having been through these experiences.
With fans, it's different. People in the industry is one thing, but fans are different.
Mhm.
Even if it is like, even if you're the current thing
Mhm.
and everyone wants a picture so they can tell their friend, I got a picture with such and so. It doesn't matter to me because the people that are coming to the shows, if they bought a ticket and they listen to your songs in the car on the way to the show or whatever it is, they listen to it with their kids or they listen to it at Thanksgiving with their family, hey, check out this new song I heard. I mean, they're the reason I have this job.
Mhm.
So if somebody wants to sit there and talk to me about, you name it, because I've had every subject thrown at me, I'll sit there and hash it out with them.
Yeah?
Because, yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, I wouldn't be able to do this job without them.
Okay.
So,
I wasn't sure if that ever got annoying.
I mean, if you get a drunk guy who comes up and keeps repeating himself, you can have fun with it.
Yeah.
Which I usually try to do. After a while, if he's starts to turn dark, you got to figure out how to like, okay, get this guy out of here. But for the most part, man, I'm thrilled that people want to come up and say, hey, and because I'm not paying my mortgage without them.
Yeah, that's fair. Talking about energy earlier and where you put that into, do you feel that you had the same energy and love for this as when you got started 19 years ago?
My energy and love for it is in a different spot. So when I first got started, I really liked, how do I put it? I really wanted to be I was so enamored with the songwriters and the records that I liked and the producers. And I wanted to know where every song came from, who wrote it. And being part of that, I felt like I was in this, it was like this golden beacon of like everything I wanted to be. And so I got in the middle of that, and it was just really cool to be a part of it. To write with people who I'd seen on credits when I was 18 years old, looking at the back of a CD. That was just the exciting part.
Yeah.
Then that fades. And then it's like, okay, now you got to put the work in. And then, then it becomes, okay, how many people can I put in a room? How many, people, how many downloads can I get? Then that starts to become the thing. Now the process is like, I'll listen to something I did and be like, God, I've nailed that part. And the fun part is seeing the evolution of where I started to now and wondering, okay, but if I do that evolution from here to 55, can it even get better?
Right. It's the continual improvement of the actual craft.
Mm-hmm.
It's no longer the vanity metrics. It's no longer whose name is on the song with you, but it's your own individual performance that you're gauging your success by.
Yeah, for sure. I wrote a new song I was so excited about last week, and I had to drive home from a show, and I put it on, and I was just like, I think I got every line in this thing. I don't think I skipped a line. I was so excited. That's the fun part for me. Yeah.
Personal satisfaction in something that you've created yourself is one of the best feelings. I was talking with someone about this last night. There's a lot of mundanity in life. There's difficult things that happen in life, but I'd have to say that I can imagine one of the hardest things is living in a way that you don't feel fulfilled with the work that you're doing.
Yeah.
Because work makes up the majority of your life, whether or not that's right, whether or not that's what you wanted to do. It's something like 60 to 70% of your life you're going to spend working on something.
Yeah.
And if you're coming home every day and you're just crunching numbers all day and you're like, well, another day down, another day closer to retirement, that's got to be one of the worst feelings. Whereas, sure, you're working hard and it's difficult and there's challenges, trials, and tribulations. But if you're coming home at the end of the day thinking, man, I feel good about the work product that I put out there. I am satisfied with the way that I pushed myself and challenged myself with the product that I'm creating. I think that's completely different.
Sure. As long as it doesn't create more stress than you need, know? And that's one thing I've always tried to be cognizant of is if I'm creating stress through my work, then I might not be enjoying it as much as I think I was.
I'm going to need you to unpack this because I create a lot of stress in my work.
Do you?
I do. So I could learn something here.
So and I don't know the statistics on this. I've only briefly read about it, and I don't know how accurate they are. But like a lot of people who do, now there are people who hate their jobs and they're just waiting till retirement. I get it. And that's kind of the culture we live in. But I do think there's something to say for the guy or the gal who can clock in, enjoy their coworkers, come home at the end of the day, feel refreshed, they had a good day with their coworkers, and completely check out at 5:00 and just enjoy being with their family. And they just kind of have this happy-go-lucky, like, I got my gig, I'm paying my bills, and dude, there's days that I think, what would that be like? It might be amazing. I don't know. Have I created stress on myself that I have to keep this business moving forward? So yeah, it's got to be a balance, right? Because you can't just sit back and go, well, I'm stressed out right now, so I'm not going to do anything.
Do you think the person that goes to work just kind of enjoys it, comes home and fully detaches? Do you think that is a personality type, or do you think that's a skill that's developed?
God, good question. I don't know.
Because I'm always thinking about something that I'm trying to create and build.
My mind doesn't shut down. I'm laying in bed at night going like, even if it's like a landscape project in the yard that I've been thinking about, I'll just go over and over and over on that.
Like I feel like progress, like you're saying, it could be landscaping, it could be music, it could be the restaurant, with the podcast. Progress in some domain, any domain, is the best feeling ever. Like continuous improvement. So the idea of like detaching from that, I don't know how I would do that, but to your point, I put so much stress on myself. Like I am a ruthless critic, and I can really, the worst part about yourself is you know how to push your own buttons.
Yeah.
You know how to get to yourself. And I'm a class act at doing that.
Are you?
So I could definitely improve on that, but I don't know that I'd ever be able to just shut it off and just detach from it.
So you can't you get done with this podcast, go home, crack a beer and turn on whatever game and just check out and not think about what you got to do tomorrow.
No. Yeah. I'm going to leave here, go to the gym, think through our entire afternoon that we spent together, think through the podcast, think about the editing procedure. Like I know that at the 37-minute mark, I had something that I'm going to cut out of there that I said, and then I'm going to go and like think about, we've got this massive catering. We're catering for 1,000 people on Saturday.
Oh my God.
So we had to order 5 Blackstone grills and figure out a full operation to run a separate kitchen at a satellite location on Saturday. So I'm going to go and think about that. Like I might have a movie on in the background,
Yeah.
but there's 10 tabs open in my head.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that's a good thing, but I'm just saying I've always wondered, is that who you are or is that something to work on and improve?
I don't know, man. Some people can't shut it off. I mean, but if you're happy doing it and you enjoy, if it's not like a negative stress, if it's like a happy stress, I'm thankful that I have all this on my plate.
Yeah, I chase meaning. I don't like, to me, happy is something you should feel occasionally, but it's like, do I feel meaning from what I'm doing?
Right.
So I guess that's how I think about it. Yeah, I don't know. That's an interesting thought. I'm going to think about that one in the sauna.
Yeah, I mean, I like being busy. I like having stuff to do. And if I'm looking at my calendar and it's like kind of empty, I'll stress about that more than I'll stress about it being full, you know?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Different strokes for different folks, I guess.
100%, man.
Yeah.
There's a couple things I want to hit on before we wrap up because I know we're running out of time. You head to Germany next week. You're going on tour. I think you said you're working on an album. Like, just kind of share with the people what you got in the works, man. What can they expect?
Yeah, so I'm trying to remember when we recorded it. We're coming up on a year since we recorded it, but it was a really long process from start to finish. It's getting mastered as we speak this week. So
what does getting mastered mean?
Okay, so you record all of and this is funny because on a lot of music podcasts, they skip over this, forgetting that like people who aren't in the music industry are going, what's mixing? What's mastering? So it's a pretty intricate process and I'm not great at it. There are a lot of people who are just magicians at it. But so when you record, you have your acoustic guitar, your electric guitar, your steel guitar, your organ, your bass, your drums. You don't just go, okay, it's recorded, boom, here you go. You have to mix it. So that means you're adjusting levels, the vocals on there, the background vocals are in there. Mm-hmm. You're adjusting levels and EQs at certain points in the song. So the vocal's always going to cut through, but you might want a guitar solo to poke out here. This guitar might need to come down here. And then there's so many different plugins to, this needs a de-esser, this needs a compression, so you're going through each little part of the song and getting everything to poke out
yep.
and fade in and out at the right time. Once you get that, then mastering really goes through and cleans up a lot of like excess noise and really gets the punch and the brightness that you can really get clarity on. So, and mastering isn't a terribly long process, but, from we started in, I guess I should back up. The album, I'm not going to say the name of it yet. We haven't said that yet, but, we recorded it in a small town in Kansas in an old, like abandoned schoolhouse.
Sweet.
It was just a wild, harebrained idea, last minute. And I had all the songs. And I usually have just recorded in Nashville with a producer there and a band there. But I was like, I don't know. I mean, I've done that. And I felt like all my buddies in my band we all play really well together now. And so, like, let's just go do this on our own terms. There's no record label there, no publishing company there, just us. See what happens. See if we can police ourselves. No producer. We're the producers. And so we went in the schoolhouse for 4, 5, 6 days, something like that. Got a little Airbnb where we cooked our own food. And
Sweet.
Every morning we'd go and start playing what song we're going to play today, pull it up, chart it for the band, rehearse it a couple times, and then play it down. And then it was one of the most fun weeks. It's like, to me, that's how a record should be made. And then we got done, and then there's post-production, which is a lot more time consuming, going through and cleaning up parts and, fixing things here and there. Maybe, you do 10 takes of an acoustic guitar, you got to figure out which take was right and get that in there. And then add vocals, and the mixing process was months and months of getting the mixing right. Anyway, so it's the coolest record I've ever made. Just because the process was really cool. And I think the songs are great too, but, yeah, it's going to come out, top of the year. Not sure how yet. If it's going to be completely independent or if I'm going to partner with a label or what yet. But, It will be out early 2026, and I'm really excited for it.
That's exciting, man. That's so, dude. Do you do like release parties with your buddies and stuff? Or what is like, how do you promote this and like celebrate this?
That's a good question. We're going to do, and you're invited, by the way. We're going to do a December 12th. We're going to play the record top to bottom with full production video walls up in, I can't actually say that either. It's supposed to be a low-key thing. Someone's going to get mad at me for saying this.
You're good, man.
But we're going to do
that PR training's coming in well.
I know, right? We're going to play the record top to bottom with full video production. We built video walls and all this stuff, and went and recorded our own B-roll video instead of using stock footage for the video walls.
Yeah.
So it's going to be really cool, and it'll be like a showcase for the record early that people can come.
Dude, that's huge.
And then we'll use all the video content and stuff from that to start promoting it top of the year. So
you've heard of Oliver Anthony, right?
Oh yeah.
You talked about your album going and like getting the Airbnb, recording it, doing it yourself. His last album, I don't remember the name of it, but it's got that Scornful Woman song on it. Him and his buddies just rented an Airbnb out somewhere like in the middle of a snow blizzard, and they lost power, and they just literally ran everything off a generator and recorded the album there.
It's amazing.
I'm like, dude, and it blew up, and it's like I'm not in the music industry. I don't know the value of labels, but for me, it's like, if you can do it yourself, why not do it yourself? Like in this era of the internet and streaming and everything going viral, like remove the middleman and just give it that genuine feel. Like I talked about that last song that you made by yourself. Like I could feel that there was something different about this. Yeah. And I love the fact you guys went and just did that on your own.
I love that that's happening these days more and more often. You'll hear about it. I know Brent Cobb just went to Springfield, Missouri and cut a rock record. And, you know, cause sorry, it just cut me off if we're running short on time.
No, you're good, man.
The studio system in Nashville is honestly great. You know, because you would go to your co-writes and you'd write all week, and then you'd get your demo session booked, and you'd go demo with the best band in the world. You know, the musicians there are crazy, and then you go to cut your record, and then you get your group of musicians for that, and then you make the record versions of the songs, and it sounds fantastic. And you're sitting there and you can't believe what you're hearing back through the speakers. Everyone is so talented and so good. And so I would never want to say anything bad about the way that system works and the quality of songwriters there, because every best guitar player, drummer, songwriter, they're all there. And so you have access to the top tier in the world. But also, as somebody who, you know, as an artist and writer, you know, figured out how that process works through watching those guys, you kind of want to go figure out your own way to do it. And that's what we did. And obviously want those guys to they'll always stay employed. I mean, they're just too good not to be. But seeing guys go out like the Oliver Anthony and all that and just do it their own way, it's super inspiring.
Yeah. Honestly, like if I was in some weird way able to give you one piece of feedback, I'd love for you to do more storytelling. Like your music does great storytelling, but you on the marketing side, we talked about in the sauna earlier that, you know, you don't enjoy that. It's hard to make time for it. I completely get that. But like, I love the stories that you've told on this podcast and you shared with me this afternoon. Like, I would love to hear more about you and your buddies going out to an Airbnb and just figuring out doing it yourself. I'd love to hear your mindset behind these things and like the genuine piece behind it, not the overproduced, overanalyzed post-production for 3 months and now it's approved by PR and put out. Like, I think that's why people resonate with Oliver Anthony so much is his content is not perfect. It is not beautiful, but it's genuine and authentic. Yeah. And he storytells really well. Yeah. And that's something that I feel like you've got everything the same as him that I'd love to see you put out there too.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah. Sometimes I worry about being a talking head too much. Like, you know, I never know what people want to see on, you know, when they open up the Instagram or whatever. I worry if I start talking too much, people are going to be like, boring, you know? So, so yeah, thanks for telling me.
I think it's better to be an inch wide and a mile deep than the opposite of that. And I think what happens whenever you start sharing your story and your thoughts is people are going to swipe off. That's going to happen. But that's not the people you're talking to. You want to make that core niche group of fans, because the deeper that you're connected with them, they're going to spread the word of mouth, and that organic marketing will happen on its own. I don't know. I just think that, dude, you're out here in Andel, like of all places, like the middle of BFE, Kansas. Yeah. And you're doing the thing, and people around here love you. You're a local legend. But I think that people would resonate with that across the world, honestly, if they could only see the story behind it.
Thank you. Yeah, that's good insight. And that's something that blows by me all the time. It's like, well, I know what happened. I was there, but no one else does. And it's just hard to gauge whether somebody would be interested in that or if they're like, no, I just want to hear the song.
Yeah. Share it, man. Okay. Wrapping up these questions here. Where can people find you online if they want to reach out, connect, learn more?
Yeah, everything is at loganmize.com. Links to all my socials. I don't do Twitter at all. I might post on there like once, or X, sorry. Might do that like once a month, post a promo thing. But really, and TikTok is, I post on there some, but Instagram and Facebook, I'm most active on there and try to keep updates going with what we're doing, what we're up to and all that. And I communicate best with fans on Instagram just because the platform's so easy to message people. So if people want to reach out, there's that. And I try to get back to everybody. So,
yep. You guys can find me on Instagram at Jacob O'Connor. The podcast is at Real Period Conversations. If you've enjoyed this episode, please make sure to share it with a friend. 2 more questions.
Yes.
5-10 years from now, what does success for you look like?
5-10 years from now, success for me. Oh gosh, that's in 10 years, my daughter will be graduating. So that's hard to think about.
Scary.
I know that's real scary. If I'm still making records I love and having a great time doing it and still connecting with folks and able to go out and play and, 5-10 years, hopefully that means 5-10 or plus records, I just love making them, and I hope I still do in the future. But whatever I'm doing, I hope it's some cool creative endeavor that I'm having a blast doing.
Yeah. Okay. Final question. Looking back at this really cool journey you've been on, what advice would you offer to your 24-year-old self?
What advice would I offer to my 24-year-old self? Cut yourself some slack. It's a learning experience. And don't compare yourself to anybody else. Stay in your own lane, do your own thing. And don't ever look around and what are they doing? What are they doing? Just do your own thing.
Yeah. I love it. Round 4, Logan. That's a wrap, man.
I love it.